Okay, here we go with 2015. All right, Shirley starting 2015 January.
Yes, this is it.
I think there's a little bit right here. John, I went to Jim's on January 1st. I usually waited and went in February when Brenda went to Beth's place in February, but for some reason this year I went up there on January 1st. I assume Brenda was home, but I don't know for a fact. What I do remember is Jim and I had taken our road trip. We started taking road trips about this time, and we've over the last several years I go up and visit him, and we drink one day, and then the next day we we're tired of drinking, so we decided to go somewhere, and we went on This is the year that we went on January 1st and went to my neck of the woods. In other words, Clinton County and over that way. So we went from Marion across country, past Kokomo, and then we end up over. This time we went to the Lake Freeman that I grew up with before I started going to Jim's house as an adult. So we went to the lake, my Uncle Dick's cottage area. It was all torn down, and there's a A-frame put there. It's not new. It's been there since like 1970, whatever, 70 probably. And but that was the area of Lake Freeman that my Uncle Dick had. That when I was 16 years old, that's 2 or 3 years on either side of that. I went to. So I took Jim there. Then I think we went from there on down to Mulberry, and went past my farm, my dad's farm. We probably drove over to Colfax and went to the cemetery, and I showed him my parents' graves. Went through Colfax, came back up, went to Frankfort, I think, and got a motel room at the Holiday Inn in Frankfort. And I think that's the night that when I went over to visit Dick Sheets. Jim didn't want to go. Okay? He didn't like meeting new people and so on and so forth. So I visited Dick for a couple hours and drank 3 or 4 beers and came back and crashed at the hotel. And the next morning, Jim and I think, got up and went home. So that was our little side trip that year. So go ahead, Shirley. We're up. What else are we doing early January?
Okay, I've got January 1st, nice day at home. And on Saturday, you returned from Jim's. It looks like I've got a note here on Sunday. Brad was emotional. He said Dallas was costing him too much money.
I also can make a note that it was cold as can be. It's January 1st, obviously cold, but I think there was a little snow in the ditches, and it was cold on that trip. Go ahead.
Okay, it looks like I confronted Brad in Dallas and told him the drama would not be tolerated with Mother coming.
We had a lot of drama with Brad in Dallas, and a little bit with the girlfriend before, Lorinda, and there's a lot of drama around here, especially with those two.
I've got on the 5th of January, Steve had his small bowel obstruction repaired in Indonesia.
Oh, really? That was in January 2015. I'll be darned. I thought it was in the last year or two that he did that. Let's see. Let's say it again. He had a
small bowel obstruction repaired.
Is that where
it's
he had
blockage
where
bowel.
it was turned over, and it seemed like maybe he had another one just 2 or 3 years ago, but that would be 5 years ago. I guess I get my time messed up. Okay, go ahead.
I must have been mad at Brad and Jason. It looks like I told them I was going to start spending John's money.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
I don't either. It's funny. Okay. On the 12th, I got John cutting off Jason. Okay. Jason cutting off the tip of his finger.
Oh. Yeah, he's still in 2015. He's working at one of the factories. I think that bakery factory, that the last factory he worked at, and he literally cut his his finger off, and was rushed to the hospital. And I talked to him on the phone. I did not go visiting there. Tammy did go, and she sat with him. So I didn't think it was necessary that I go, but it was in the middle of the night when I found out about it. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. and he was fine, but lost his finger, lost the tip of his finger. Yeah, 2015.
Okay, let's see. Brad doing calls with John this week. This is later in January, around his birthday.
All right, so that's that. Just a note on that. That tells us that Brad was essentially working for me in 2015. Going out with Dallas, he's probably doing drugs. There's no probably about it, but he was, at least I had him working some, and you know, we had some successful days. Brad, you know, would actually bring me some business. You know, I can't remember which years that were better than the others, but I would say this year he brought me some business. Go ahead.
Okay, and it looks like Mother is thinking about moving down here.
Okay.
Mother ready to move with a question mark.
So she's been up in Carmel for 1, 2, maybe not more than 2 years. Golly, it seemed like she was up there at least 3 years, but it could have been another year before she came. I don't know. We'll just have to see when she actually came. Go ahead.
Okay, and then the end of January, I've got Super Bowl. I mean, we had a Super Bowl party on the first. I got Jason, Brad, and Dallas in.
Really?
Okay by it.
No Tammy. Okay. Yeah, we might have got Jason to come over here and from Tam. I guess he's living with Tammy at the house. I think at this point they were in and out, and she was leaving and coming back and all that. But we had a Super Bowl party. I kind of remember that, and we had some wings and stuff, and had a good time. I don't remember who's playing. I don't think it was the Titans. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, still some Dallas notes. Jason staying with Tammy, but still selling house. These kids. I took Mom to set up with Dr. Corrette. Sounds like Mother's moving in. And it went well. I went to see Kinky Boots at TPAC on the 8th. Next week in February, Mom and I had a fun lunch at Panera's. Water heater breakdown replaced.
That was always a big deal around the house. I don't know what stage we are on the remodel in 2015. I'd have to, maybe it'll tell in here. But when that water heater goes, it just splashes water all down the hallway. And we never had much damage. We just replaced the water heater. Go on.
On February the 16th, we had a nasty snow, and you drove me to work.
February?
Mm-hmm.
February 16th, 2015. Okay.
Okay.
I haven't had much of a snow in the last couple of years. This is 2021 now. 2021.
Okay, I was going to TPAC on the 22nd of February with Janice, Sheila, and I. Joseph and the amazing Technicolor coach.
Shirley likes her tea-bag.
On the 23rd of February, John went to Alabama.
Okay, I'm still going to that Tuscaloosa meeting. I had some good times down there, but I never really sold much except, you know, just meeting with Foley and supporting him, I guess.
Okay, Mom, it sounds like Mom's around now, and she was irritated with Dallas.
So your mom is it? Are we saying she's moved out of Carmel and moved here, or is she just visiting and getting ready to move here? Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly when she did move.
Hopefully, it'll say in there she actually moved down here. Yeah, go ahead.
Dinner. Toto in the Gulch with Bear with Steve and Linda.
Toto. There was a place that Steve and Linda liked that they took us a couple times. Remember that lawyer and his lawyer, or that salesman and his lawyer wife, and they had a nanny and.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah. And I remember his name, but it's not come to me. And then he ended up doing something else. But Toto, I didn't remember the name of the restaurant. I just remember what it looks like. Stuff, yeah.
You got Foley Stain, 2 nights. Stomach Funk from Costa Rica.
What? Oh, that he got sick at that meal that night, and we brought his food home. And Shirley says, "Don't eat that." I was going to eat it the next day, and Shirley said, "Don't eat that. He's been sick." I remember that. Yeah, he just had a stomach thing. Yeah.
Okay, we're into March, and I got John with Jason, refinanced house, wants to get back with Tammy. I wrote nothing good here.
All right. So Jason wanted to refinance, or they did refinance.
I don't know. I just got refinanced.
I got a feeling they just
You
talked
just
about
talk.
it. Yeah.
They weren't getting along.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I painted pansies in March. Ooh, can't wait to do that. Okay.
Planted. You planted pansies?
Yes, in March.
You said painted, I think.
Okay, sorry. I must have gone down to Indiana in March 18th. Jungle Gyms, Doug and Carolyn, Nicole and family at Country Club. I think we went there and met them for lunch. Lunch at the Cheesecake Factory when I came back home. Cheesecake Factory.
Well, that's down in the mall down there, Green Hills.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a place you like. I wonder if you went with your mother or me or everybody, or didn't say, huh? But you might have took your mom back to the apartment or something. Go ahead.
Okay, the next weekend I had some call. It looks like I went back in. Looks like we were upset with Brad again on the 24th. Anyway, it was the Bread in Dallas adventure. Then we go to, didn't look like it got much better in April. Okay, here we go. Mom went to Corette. She got a new IBS med. She had so many problems with her.
Well,
What about?
Kind of like you do too. A little bit.
And then John went to Jim's on the 17th of April.
Well, I'll be darned. So I went up there January 1st and in April again. I'll be darned. What else is in? There's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just got to that. Mom and I to Gallatin, drive around Courtyard Square, ate lunch at Old Charlie's, and we went to Belk.
I'm excited about the trip to Outer Banks. Oh, okay. That's a trip that she went with Dana, and we did not get invited.
That does sound good.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Outer Banks, I think, kind of since then. But I think, what's Dana's wife? Sarah. Sarah, I think, set this trip up for Dana's side of the family and took Grandma.
Yeah, they must have gone. I got to hear May the 3rd. I got Mom to Outer Banks. So that's nice. I'd like to go there sometime. Okay. Let's see. We went to Gulf Shores on the 9th. We took Brad in Dallas with us.
Not happy, but necessary.
Okay, we stayed at the Ocean Motion.
That was our main house when we went down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it say? Buyers? What's that say?
Mm-hmm.
Or burgers at Bahama Bob's. I'm told.
Returning to the house this evening. Okay, must come home. Okay, we ate at Steamers. Steamers.
It's probably something down there in Gulf Shores.
Okay. John Mitchell in to visit John.
Oh yeah. That's probably the first time that we got together. I played golf with him for a few years up at Vincennes. Got to know John. He stopped in down he might have spent the night. I'm not sure. Anyway, then we got to start getting together every year that we'd go to Gulf Shores or Destin or wherever we went. He'd come, but he didn't visit us this year because of the virus.
Okay, I've got overall a good beach vacation. I came back on Started working on the flowers in May. Okay, May 28th, I got Mother fussing with Dallas. Ugh, jeez. Just more drama from them. It looks like, okay, I got Jan was leaving our unit at the hospital.
What's that saying?
John, Mother, and I boat ride.
Yeah, boat ride.
Shopping with Brad. Shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond. Mother and I like to go out and do a little shopping things. It was a good thing because this is towards the end of her life. So, Mom and I, dinner at Demas.
I just can't figure out if she's living with us at this point or if she's just visiting.
I don't know. Okay, here's some things in June. Let's see. Okay. Mike came in.
Can't read that.
Found Vic's secret from Christmas. I don't know what that means.
Read it.
I can't.
Receipt for Lorinda, or maybe?
I don't know.
Found Vic's secret.
Okay, I must have been upset with Brad. He might be using his credit card more than I realized.
Phone call. Father's Day, Brad getting speaker.
Okay, he must have been living over there. He's getting a realtor assessment on house. Okay, here we go. $500. Oh, and that he was working for me, and I had our accounts tied together, and he hit me for some money a couple times. I'd go off someplace. One time it was $2,000, and so I just blew up. Obviously, came flying home, and I had to watch him like a hawk. He was a real problem. Mike came in. Oh boy. It looks like on the 27th, John and I had breakfast at Avante and fun shopping with Mom at Ross's.
This Jessica with Brad, that we went to a therapist, I think, as a group sometimes. I think her name was Jessica. Belly acting up.
Okay. Boat ride. Mom had belly cramps. I don't know. All right, let's see what's coming up next here. I don't think they were really in Vegas.
They didn't go to Vegas, did they? I can't remember.
Jimmy Sweeney said that, but I don't think they were.
God,
okay, I took Mom to Rock Castle. Looks like Brad and John weren't getting along. Pretty much ready for Brenda and Jim.
Brenda and Jim get ready to come?
I don't know. I guess
yeah, probably so. And they came during that time with Brad and Dallas because Brad came home with some garage sale stuff and Jim couldn't. He just didn't understand what was going on.
It's kind of a rough year here.
Yeah.
Already took my call. Okay, it looks like we went to Moto with Linda and Steve.
Moto. Which one's that?
Moto, I don't know.
Should be able to look up some of these places. It wasn't that Toto again. Was it Toto or Moto?
I don't know. It looks. Dr. Fogelin acknowledged.
I remember we
me
went
there.
we went back. Yeah, we went back to that same restaurant 2 or 3 times. Linda must have liked that restaurant. It was just okay. It was in the Gulch, kind of an old brick, old building, and the food was good, but places I'd rather went.
Okay.
But they were paying. It was great.
Looks like Jim and Brenda were going to be coming in. We'll have to see what that entails here. This is in July.
Country Music Hall of Fame.
I guess we took them around.
Oh yeah, we took Jim Brenda to Whiskey Kitchen. I remember that. Brad Dallas Old Club. Visit, I don't know. Brenda, something Tammy.
It's Tammy.
Okay, thanks.
Boating, Charlie's,
Yeah.
Great Margarita.
Okay.
Looks like we just had some visiting.
I remember Jim coming and we mostly sat out here, but we went to town once and I remember that Whiskey Kitchen. They really liked that. I think that shrimp dish, can't remember the name of, Jim had there and he was all impressed.
Mom upset over porch cussing. Everyone's sorry.
Oh, yeah, because we get out there. Jim and I probably would, okay, so your mom is, I guess she's living here at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why we don't have a definitive date in there that she moved down, but it must have been in 2015 sometime, because she's back here in that bedroom that Jason's in now. And Jim and I were sitting out on the deck and we got loud and she thought we were cussing at Brad or something. We were cussing at each other over politics. So, yeah.
Okay, let's see.
She was all worried about it, yeah.
All right, we're having the time. Jason's dog's coming to live at our house. John talking down to me. Screw him. Mom had a gas bubble then out, and she wasn't willing to put my name on any titles. I just having a heck of a time with people here. Okay. Called in AM only, so good. I was happy about that. Jessica told me I was doing good. That was my therapist.
A big blow up. All right, move on.
Okay, another big blow up here. Whoosh, glad those days are over. Patient, paid drug drama. Patient big drug in Dallas, paid for groceries, no cable. Okay.
I wonder if this is the summer that they got in trouble, you know.
I don't know.
We might have cut them off and that's when they started doing their thing. Go ahead. What's over here? Nothing? Okay.
Call.
Read all that. I can't see. Stuff. Truck. John and I gathering things from back porch. A back porch.
I don't know.
This one, I guess.
Cleaners are still cleaning things off the back porch.
Maybe John was getting ready to remodel it or something at that point. Maybe 2015. I don't know when things were done around here.
Okay, let's see.
Dallas's stuff. Packing up Dallas's stuff.
Poor Mom was living here when we were having issues with those two, I guess.
Bad and stressed. Okay. What's it say? Jessica for Addiction Center. Yeah, so we were talking to that therapist that time. It didn't work. It didn't help. John and weekend with Jason.
Big weekend with Jason, Bobby, and Jim.
Okay, so 2015 must be the year that I took Jason up to Lake Wawasee and we hung out with Bobby and Jim. Yeah.
Okay, I got down a fairly quiet time, which sounds great.
Didn't have very many in 2015.
John to Roanoke.
Okay, obviously I'm working for CWC. Had to go to Roanoke in September.
Guess so.
That's kind of. We usually went in February or March. I thought to Roanoke, so I don't know why I went in September.
Okay, looks like Brad went to rehab but got kicked out.
Okay, which one? Where?
I don't know. I
mean, he went to about 5 or 6 rehabs, so it'd be nice to know. Returning from, what's that say?
Okay, it looks like I was down Mom to Cincinnati for an eye appointment. We stayed at the Hilton, had dinner at Rafferty's.
Who's it? You and your
Me and
mom?
Mom.
Hilton, where at?
Probably down Lawrenceburg. Okay, Mike in, and then I returned from Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Went to TPAC to see Dirty Dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Got my flu shots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we bounce over to October. Mom, take a drive here. Nice afternoon, a boat ride, late lunch at Sam's. Okay, this is when we went to Belmead Plantation and I rode the Segway.
Oh.
I said I did good.
And yeah, I remember you did do good. October of 17th of 2015 is when we did that little Belmead weekend thing when down there rode segways.
Yeah.
I think Jason and I had done it before, a year or two before.
But didn't you do it downtown?
Yeah, downtown.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's not
just...
not in your calendar. You didn't care, I guess. But when you did it with you, you wrote it down. Okay.
That's my diary.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I've got
Mom's birthday.
Coyote, Fontanelle.
Did we go to Fontenelle?
I don't know.
October. We went
19th was her birthday, Fontanelle.
We went to Fontenelle one time, and we went previous a few years. It seemed like we went there to the outside stuff. I don't know. Anyway, it's the fall. Okay.
Okay. I went to the doctor.
26-minute one.
And I took a boat ride. We took a boat ride with John and Mike.
Brother Mike. We probably went over to Sam's. I remember one time, 3 of us went over to Sam's and ate. I think I got a picture of that somewhere.
Okay.
And so your mom didn't go on that. Maybe she stayed back. I don't know where Mike was sleeping at when she was here. Of course, Brad had at his house. Maybe in the little bedroom, I guess.
Brad had his 20th high school reunion, and Billy was in.
Which means Brenda and Jim would have stayed in that little bedroom at that point in time, which they did once or twice. Yeah.
I got, did a lot of people in and out of here. I've got the
Mike here, Betty Jane, and
Sandy in, and Steve and then later.
I don't know how Steve comes so often, because I thought he was in Indonesia 90% of the time, but you know, he lived with Mike for a period. It might have been at this period of 2015.
Okay, Betty Jane and Sandy went home the next day. We had breakfast and a late lunch for all. Okay, November the 2nd, John to Atlanta with Steve.
Oh, this was my trip with Steve to Atlanta. This was fun. Steve was hot and heavy doing those carvings. He was selling those on eBay. And I guess he was still, I don't know what he'd been to Indonesia and came back or what, but the point is we spent the weekend at his friends, and don't go too far, lose our place, and his friends from 20 years previous, and their daughter did all the shipping of his carvings, because he was in Indonesia. He was actually doing the computer work for selling that from Indonesia, and I guess he was, I don't know, living with Toddy, or maybe he'd left Toddy at this point, I don't know, but this was his business at that point, and he came back to help her with the carving. She had some problems or something, but Steve and I went, and I helped him with the carvings. I cleaned and didn't carve. But we had a good 2 or 3 days together in Atlanta, or south of Atlanta.
Okay, I went to TPAC to see Bullets Over Broadway on the 15th of November.
Okay.
And it looks like Brad went back to Palm Springs, California for rehab.
Oh, okay.
In November.
All right, so this tells us in 2015, Brad is in his 2nd or 3rd rehab at this point. I think 2nd. The first one was in Texas. For some reason that didn't make the calendars. That must have been the year before. 2014 or so. Then we sent him to Palm Springs and then on to San Diego. Was it San Diego or that another little town north of San Diego? And he spent quite a bit of time. He was gone. So this period of time was kind of quiet in our house because Brad wasn't here, and it was really kind of nice. He was gone for a year, I guess. I don't know. And your mom, I think, appreciated it. Having peace in our house for that period of time. So Brad's in Palm Springs. That's interesting. In November of 2015. That was, and from there he went on to Southern California at the same group. Because he spent a bunch of time there. We were able to get it paid for 90% by insurance, and it didn't really take, but we tried.
Okay, this was when we went to the Kellis wedding in South Carolina.
Oh, 2015.
In November.
November what? November 20th, before Thanksgiving. And this is one of the things I was doing good with Ron Kellis, Nature Kim. They were my biggest account. And of course, a couple years later, right before I retired, I had my biggest year with them, and that's why I got a giant bonus that year. But I had a good year here, and they were really getting into what they were doing with the chemicals that we handled, and going to a lot of meetings together, taking their son out to dinner because he lived here in Nashville for a while, and it was big time with Kellis's. So we were good on their list. They invited us to the wedding. They invited another guy who didn't go, Tall Dave. They invited him too, but he didn't go. And we represented at CWC at this wedding. And Shirley and I, we went over there. We rented a car. We flew over, rented a car, and where'd we stay? I don't know, some hotel around there. But we visited downtown Columbia and enjoyed that, and went out to the wedding. And Rom was just a heck of a host early in the evening. Showed us all over his house, every room in his house.
And he got stuck in we all got stuck in an
elevator. We got stuck in his elevator. He has 3 floors, I think, and had an elevator. I mean, the place was unbelievable. And the wedding was in the yard facing the lake, and then they had the reception in a tent, big tent. It was cool. It was in November. It rained.
Yeah, it did. It rained, and the bridal party got wet. They had to come in and redo. But he has like 7 kids, and their names all start with R.
He's kind of amazing. Personality-wise, I didn't like the guy, but he liked me sometimes, most of the time, and I hit it and sold the heck out of him. Sold him a lot of stuff. Made a lot.